Hey everyone, welcome to Manchester Comic Con 2019. One more time, let's warm you up for these. I'm not bringing the Baywatch babes if I don't want to raise the roof. Let's give it up for the beautiful Baywatch babes, Erica, Angelica, and Brandy. Have a seat, ladies. Should we do the run? Oh, nice. Steven's doing the run. Nice. Are you all on? Yeah. So try it now. Try it again.
Hello, hello.
Hey, there we go. Wow, what a privilege. 3 Baywatch babes from the original television series. Let's give it up for them. You guys are absolutely stunning. I should have gone to get my hair and makeup done before I did this panel. Wow, beautiful. So, Baywatch is one of the most successful television shows ever. And I suppose so many TV series aspire to be what Baywatch was. What was it like for you as young actresses to get a call to go on a show called Baywatch? You probably didn't have any sort of idea what it was.
Well, I know for me, when I went, it was actually quite a serious concept at the time because it was about lifeguarding. So we had a lot of shows about lawyers and doctors and policemen and women, but nothing about lifeguarding. So when we started the show, and the whole concept was actually created by a real lifeguard. Mm-hmm. So that was originally, yeah.
And for me, I remember getting the phone call from my agent that I'd gotten the role because I had gone on so many different tests and swim tests and everything. And it's something that I really, really wanted. And I was at the mall, and I remember being outside getting the call, and I literally fell to my knees because I was so excited and started crying. It was something that I really, really wanted. So it was very exciting.
Wow. What about you?
When I auditioned, there were, I think they had seen 3,000 or 4,000 girls because Pamela Anderson was leaving the show, so they needed to replace Pamela. Well, I don't think you could ever replace Pamela Anderson because she was just such an icon, and it was just such a huge dynamic part of the show. So when I went in, I'm auditioning with 3,000 girls, and they brought 3 of us in that season to kind of replace one Pamela. But I remember during the audition, as soon as I was done reading in front of David Hasselhoff and the producers and the creator, they said to the wardrobe woman, "Take her down and put her in the tank." And I was like, "What's the tank? What? I mean, I came here to audition. I'm reading my lines, Well, they took me down into the costume room. They had all these red suits put out on like a wardrobe kind of thing. And the wardrobe woman was looking and found a suit and had Pam's name written in black marker on the tag. She put it out to me. She goes, "Oh, that looks like that'll fit you. Try this one on, honey." And I'm just like, oh my God, the red suit. I just came to audition and read lines, and I'm already putting on a red suit. What's going on here? So once I got the red suit on, I found out what the tank was. And the tank was a big water tank / swimming / pond on the production lot that they did a lot of the underwater scenes in. So they wanted us to see, once you passed the reading stage and you did a good job at the audition, they wanted to see your swimming skills. They wanted to see how you looked in the red suit. They wanted to see what you looked like underwater with your face. So if you looked horrible underwater, they weren't going to cast you. I mean, it's just crazy what they were looking for. But I passed the swim tests, and then got out of the tank, was hoping that Pamela's suit that I was wearing was giving me good luck. And literally 3 days later, I found out that They had written a part for me. They didn't have a part for me, but they had written in a part for me for the show. So I was just beyond ecstatic, and it was a dream come true.
Great story. Thank you so much, Brandy. Thank you. What a great story. So just give me some context. So how long were you guys in the series together for? And at what point did you meet each other on Baywatch?
I did not work with either of these beauties. So when I started the show, we were a 2-hour movie before we were a television series. And I did the show when we were on NBC, which was the most conservative network at the time. Then the show went down, and they got the rights back because they lost the rights, and that's when it went syndicated. So I did one syndication, and just to give you a year of syndication, to give you the timeline, my exit was Pamela Anderson's entrance. So my character, what I needed to do for them contractually before I left was introduce Pamela.
Okay.
So we did another 2-hour movie.
Yeah. So you were the original Babe then?
Yeah.
We have the original Babe, Erica.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for the original Babe. Before Pamela Anderson. Oh yeah.
Yeah, so...
What? Oh.
Just at what time, just wanted to give the audience a little bit of context, like what time do you join and meet each other? Obviously I know this, but it's great to tell those guys.
Well, I don't think I met Erica till many years later. Was it at one of our reunions or get-togethers or something like that at an event or a party? And then Brandy and I were friends.
Yeah.
We were great friends before she got on Baywatch and I did Baywatch, and then I was still like Baywatch where we shot it in Malibu, and she was Baywatch Hawaii. So, yeah, I was first.
The last 2 seasons were shot in Hawaii. Yep.
Yeah, so we were actually really good friends. And if you think about how strange that is, of all the millions of people in the world, and maybe tens of thousands of girls that have auditioned to be on the show, and there's only been maybe 30 or 40 of us girls ever cast and given a regular contract for the show, to actually have been pre-friends before your friend got on the show in a town or in a world of billions of people, it's really kind of rare. I don't know. I find it just like such a coincidence that we were already friends.
And very special because we got to go through so many fun experiences together because of Baywatch and everything else.
Awesome. We've got a lot of David Hasselhoff's fans in the audience. We've booked him a lot of David Hasselhoff fans. Say hey. Woo! Absolute legend, and he's such a nice guy. So lovely. We've booked him a few times for our shows, and we'll be booking him in the future. It'd be great to have him up here, wouldn't it? In the future, that'd be amazing. So my question to you is, what was it like working with David? Did you do any cool scenes with him? Did he make you run down the beach? What was it like?
For me, David was a big practical joker. So he would always try really hard to make you go up on a line, or if you had a close-up and it was a crying scene, he would pop up behind the camera or try and do something funny to trip you up. I always found David to be in a good mood. And he's very charismatic, his personality, so he's always bigger than life. So everything kind of comes alive when David comes on the set. It's just his personality.
Yeah, and I had pretty much the exact same experience. He was just always so much fun and so sweet. And I remember his parents were in town one time, and he invited me to go to dinner with them. And it was just such a delight and a pleasure to be able to go and meet his family. And that's how he was. He was just very welcoming and made you feel like you were part of the family.
Yeah, he was always singing on the set. I don't know if he did with your seasons, but he would come in and like, oh, like this big Phantom of the Opera voice. And I was like, oh my God, he really has an amazing voice. But he was always singing, always happy, larger than life. Just as you see him, he's actually like that in real life. Normally people that are that exuberant on film or when they're on camera, on TV, are pretty quiet in person. It's usually the opposite because they turn it off. He doesn't. He never turns it off. It's really authentic.
Thank you very much, ladies. I love the David stories. They're great, aren't they? So just a quick question, really. Like, obviously, like I said, Baywatch is one of the biggest TV series ever. There's not that many TV series out there, UK and US, that have got the ratings that you guys have. How did your life change after the series? I mean, obviously, you would not be able to walk down the street anymore. You'd have a lot of people approaching you. I mean, obviously, individually, you've all done some amazing projects outside of Baywatch. You both got good careers. So my question to you is, how did things change after the series for you?
I think for me personally, it was more, I was already gone after the show, once the show started to really become famous overseas, because it takes a while to come over.
Yeah.
But I know that internationally it changed things for me big time. So all of the projects that I've done over a span of many, many years, none of them are as successful overseas as Baywatch.
Yeah.
So that's sort of a whole other world in terms of work and in terms of, being able to come here. I attribute so much of that to Baywatch. What I find most profound for me is, for instance, there was a young lady that came to the table yesterday to say hello, who started crying, and she was such a sweetheart. Her name is Ruby, but she shared with me a letter that she wrote when she was 9 years old, and she's a grown woman now, of how much Baywatch had meant to her at the time, that she became a lifeguard, and then she went on to teach young children swimming. And
oh, wow.
What inspired me was how inspired she was by the show, and that never gets old. I just heard it yesterday and I wanted to cry. And so I think for me, in terms of how it has changed my life, it's just been such a contribution to my spirit.
Aw.
Yeah.
So this is going to be an emotional day. The Police Academy one was emotional. I'm going to be crying after today. Oh my goodness me. Wow, what I don't even know where to go from there. Wow. Brilliant. Gosh. Right, I'm going to go on to a different question, because if I ask the next one, I'll cry. So I just wanted to ask, because obviously the red swimsuits are very iconic to Baywatch, and everyone remembers the running scene. It's the opening intro. It's fantastic, and every young girl out there always wanted to do that. So it was brilliant. My question to you is, did you get to keep anything from Baywatch? Did you get to keep the suit or the board, or did you get to keep anything? Probably not.
I kept a couple things.
Did you?
Bathing suit.
Cool.
I think that's all I got.
Yeah, I have. I mean, we probably were not supposed to take our suits home after the end
Sorry
of
if I got you in trouble.
production.
Whoops.
But I have two of them, yeah. And one of them was Pamela's before mine, and her name got scribbled out, and then AB, my initials were put in the back. So I took that home at the end of the season, which, I mean, sorry, producers or wardrobe lady. But I had to. I mean,
Yeah.
you have to.
I would have.
You didn't. Oh, girl, no, you wish you would have now.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah, absolutely.
And what was so good about Baywatch as well is a lot of strong female characters, and obviously back in that time, obviously things have changed now, so it was good for me to watch as a little girl, is all the good, strong, big characters that came through that time, because obviously this time was quite a male-dominated industry and things changed. So, it was great to have beautiful female characters that kind of hold their own, and, lifeguarding's a serious job at the end of the day, So did you guys have to do any special kind of lifeguarding skills or training or anything like that before you did Baywatch?
I'll say on my season, we went through some really intensive training in Hawaii. We would have big old huge boulders. We'd walk along the bottom of the ocean with huge boulders. We'd all lock legs and go underwater and try to stay underwater as long as we could. We got up to 2 minutes. I mean, it was really, we were trained by real professional lifeguards and really, CPR, the whole nine. So it was pretty intense.
Wow, so if someone was needed rescue and I could suit you guys up and go, yeah?
Yes.
Fantastic, we've got real lifeguards here.
Not me. We were the first year, so I had 2 stunt doubles. I had a swimming double named Natalie, who was a real
You had a
lifeguard.
double?
Yes. We did, once we were cast, we then went in the swimming pool to show them our skills, so they knew how to match us and how much they needed to cover us. So, and then plus I was ocean phobic.
Really?
I'm still I'm shark phobic. 100%. So, but I will say by the second year I was a lot more comfortable going in and coming out and jumping off the boat in the deep sea. But we had amazing stunt doubles. So that's definitely an interesting point because it's an evolvement. You know, when we first shot the show, we shot in January. It was freezing. Me and myself and Billy Warlock were in the water on the record coldest day of the year. And our lips were so blue they could not use the footage.
Oh my
And it was then they determined they needed to get a water tank. So we were kind of the guinea pigs, and I think that they got so much wiser along the way. You know, they needed the actors to be athletic. It's just easier, you know, if they can use you doing your own, as much of your own stunts as possible. But, you know, with the swimming, it's just so much easier to shoot and to deal with. So I think that was definitely an evolvement as the show went on.
Wow, thank you, Erica. What
Yeah.
a great story. Gosh. So we're just going to do a little Q&A with the audience. Has anyone got any Baywatch Babes questions? Got a lovely assistant here. Yeah, this gentleman at the front.
I've heard of you seen Night Rider with David Hasselhoff.
Say that again, sorry.
Have you seen Night Rider?
Have you watched Knight Rider? Got the Knight Rider car over there. That's cool.
Yeah. What do you think of Night Rider?
What do you think of Knight Rider?
I liked Kit, the car.
Yeah.
I wish I had a Kit.
You can do with Kit around
so
now.
another question. How do you feel about Jill being killed off Baywatch, an episode Shark Derby? That was a sad one.
I remember that show very, very well. It was scary for me. That was a really scary concept, yeah. So, and I was sad to see Sean Weatherly.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool, next question, please. Gentleman at the back with his hand up. Thank you so much. Okay.
Hello.
Hi.
When Parker Stevenson left Baywatch, he said he was disappointed
Just
because...
slow down. Say that
Sorry.
again.
When Parker Stevenson left Baywatch after season 1, he said he was disappointed it wasn't Neil Street Blues on the beach. Do you think the same of him?
Okay, can you repeat that? Sorry, Jerome.
Just talk really, really slowly.
Yeah.
Sorry, you've got
when
a beautiful
Parker
accent.
Stevenson
Just talk very
left
slowly.
the
Sorry.
first season,
After, he said he was disappointed because he hoped it was a Neil Street Blues on the beach. Do you think the same?
he was disappointed because he thought, I'm so sorry.
He hoped
He hoped,
it was an Hill Street Blues on the beach.
and that's the part I'm not getting.
Okay, so who's the question regarding?
Parker Stevenson, we got that.
Stephen, okay.
He was disappointed
Yes.
because he hoped it was something on the beach, and I'm not getting that part.
It was Hill Street Blues on the beach, and he was disappointed it wasn't.
I'm not hearing it. I'm so sorry, sweetheart. Can anyone
Oh,
help
I'm sorry.
out there?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's Jerome. Is there anyone that's hearing what he's saying, understanding? No? Is there anyone that can translate?
Just ask him.
I got it all. It's just the one key word that he was hoping it would be.
She's not sure. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
we'll come back to you. I'm sorry.
We'll come back, Jerome.
Next question, please. This lady at the front. Was it difficult to run on the beach? I think that might have been what he said.
Well, he said. Huh.
This lady. Okay, sorry. We'll come back to you. This lady at the front here.
This is Eureka. What was it like working with Tommy Lee Jones and Steven Seagal?
Oh.
And jumping out of that cake?
Well, I'll just make it quick because I don't want to leave the girls out.
Yeah.
But Tommy Lee Jones was I'm a huge fan, a huge fan. He's a brilliant actor. So I was in awe. Whenever I work with actors that I admire so much, I go as a sponge. I try to absorb everything from them that I can. And he's a real cowboy. He's definitely a real cowboy. He's very quiet. Gary Busey is nuts and crazy and fun and high energy. I've done 3 or 4 movies with Gary, and we always have fun together. And jumping out of the cake was daunting. I was not happy. That was actually not scripted.
Wow.
So we were supposed to have a costume. And I got fitted for a costume, actually. And then I was rather pressured into doing that scene. So all these years later, it would be a very different scene today.
Great, thank you so much, Erica. Thank you. Next question, please. Any more Baywatch babes questions? Oh, okay, yeah, we've got a lady at the back. Hello, Mr. T.
I was just wondering, have you seen the new Baywatch movie and what's your thoughts on it?
What's your thoughts on the new Baywatch film?
I saw it, and I might get in trouble for saying this, but I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I loved seeing David in it and Pam doing her cameo, and I just thought it was a lot of fun. It was a little nostalgic, but it was just a little fun, you know, tongue-in-cheek, but it was cute.
Yeah, and I thought it was campy. And honestly, anything The Rock does, I don't know. I don't think he can do any wrong. Like, whatever he touches turns to gold. I mean, he could just stand there and recite the alphabet, and I'm going to watch. You know, so honestly, I thought it is what it is. It's campy. They're blowing up things. It was fun. Zac Efron is definitely not hard on the eyes either. Baywatch has never been Shakespeare. So, you know, it is what it is. Yeah. I mean, I like the TV episodes much better than the film, honestly. I think once you do the TV series and you have all those seasons and all the different episodes with all the adventures in every episode, I don't think you could duplicate that in a film. So that's just my opinion. But I liked it. It's The Rock.
Cool. Awesome. Fantastic. So last question, and then we'll let the girls get back. Any more Baywatch questions? Mr. T, is he gone? Oh, yeah, this guy in the Hawaiian shirt. Look how ace he looks. Stand up, please, sir. Big round of applause for the guy in the Hawaiian shirt. It looks like he's just stepped off a plane from Hawaii. What's your question, sir?
What did you do after Baywatch? After the series ended, that is.
Yeah, just so that like the next project after Baywatch, you guys have got some awesome things. You did some awesome things.
Just more films, like Starsky and Hutch and The Nanny Diaries, and then other films, and then some fun reality stuff like Celebrity Apprentice and The Surreal Life and all that fun stuff. So just continued on acting.
And Brandy wrote a book too. Do not discount. Her book is called Bounce, Don't Break. Yeah, she's also an author, by the way. So, and then I just went on to do, more television as well. I played in the Mortal Kombat TV series as Omegus, the sorceress, and I played Red Sonja in the Conan the Barbarian TV series, and did a recurring on Bold and the Beautiful. Oh wow, I forgot about that. And and still doing. I just did a movie for Lifetime, and I think we're all still doing projects here and there that probably haven't even come out yet. I mean, she's going to be doing a movie coming up, and you probably have some that are coming out too. So I think we'll always keep busy, but I think our most iconic moments will probably always be Baywatch when it comes down to it.
Great question, thank you. So we've actually got Gerald's question here. So the gentleman that we couldn't understand. So what was Gerald's question?
He was asking where he was disappointed when it wasn't Hill Street Blues on the beach, as the actor was asking you out beforehand.
Okay. Yay. And I understand that because, as I said when we started the show, it was written very serious. It really was a serious take on lifeguarding. So as I said, we had the lawyers and the cop shows, and there were very serious dramas. This was to be a very serious look at lifeguarding. So that's an interesting comment that he made, you know, that it wasn't Hill Street Blues on the beach, because when we signed up to do the show, it ended up being something very, very different. And no apologies, because quite frankly, I think that's why Baywatch became what it was. It became about beautiful people and music and eye candy and music montages, as well as the fun storylines. But that was not the original idea. So I understand very much why he feels the way he did. I have similar feelings. So I get it.
Yay, I'm glad we got that sorted. Thank you so much. This final question of this gentleman here. Final question. Oh, we've got two more questions.
Is there plans for a Baywatch TV reboot, an updated TV version of Baywatch?
Do you think would you like to star in it if they asked you? What do you think? You could train?
What, in my wheelchair?
I wouldn't be surprised for a new generation if they did a reboot. Let's put it that way. It wouldn't surprise probably any of us.
Yeah, and you know, I keep in touch. I don't know if you guys keep in touch with some of the producers, but there's 3 producers, and one of the producers was actually a real lifeguard. So when she first started on the show, and they were talking about they wanted the seriousness of real lifeguards making saves, it's because one of the producers was a real lifeguard, and that was kind of his quest to make a show that was really, you know, more serious and about saving lives. And then, you know, you've got 2 other producers who have their, you know, strengths. You know, you've got the writer, and you've got Doug Schwartz contributing as well. So I think that by speaking to the non-lifeguard lately, Michael Burke, who is the main writer, he would love to do a reboot. He would love to do a new TV series, and it would not surprise me if that is not something they will do in the next 2 years. It would not surprise me.
And Greg Bonin was the lifeguard.
Yeah, Greg Bonin was the lifeguard. Michael Burke was,
Great question, thank you. Final question over here for this gentleman.
Yeah, hi. This is a question for Erica. I'm sorry, girls, but just for Erica. Before, I was asking about Full House, kissing John Stamos, and you said it was awkward because he was a friend of yours and your husband's. So that was an awkward on-screen kiss. Can you tell me what was your favorite on-screen kiss, or your least awkward on-screen kiss?
Let me go through all of them in my brain.
Be a while.
You know, I'll tell you that on-screen kisses are never, for me, not awkward. Right. I mean, you are not, there's nothing romantic about it at all, or hot or sexy, because there are a whole room full of people. I was doing a kissing scene with Kim Coates.
Oh.
And my boyfriend at the time actually worked on set. He was holding the board that was holding me, which was I was leaning on while I was kissing Kim.
Oh my goodness.
It's not, you know, it's always awkward. You have crew and cameras, and, you know, I've met people for the first time playing my love interest. Hi, nice to meet you, and action, and you're kissing. So I really can't think of one kiss that wasn't awkward. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Most awkward might be a better question.
Right, yeah.
And we're you guys, but putting the breath spray in.
Right.
And then going, okay, I'm ready for the scene.
Yeah.
Because you don't want your co-star to be grossed out if you have bad breath. So I'm always like,
I'd be like, no onions for the entire day, thank you.
no garlic.
No garlic, onions, shower, spray, I'm ready. I want to thank these ladies for their time. It's been an incredible Baywatch panel.
Thank
for
you,
coming.
everybody.
Slightly emotional. For Brandy, Angelica, and Erica, thank you so much. Thank you.